these fossils come from the Callide mine. And so we have people that have been working at the Callide mine, the surveyors, the senior geologists, that make the remarkable discovery of these fossils. And if it's safe enough, they're able to extract them. And then in several cases, they put them on display. One case, they put it at the local school. Another case, they put it as one of the boulders to around a lawned area to stop cars from driving on the grass.
So did the people at the school realise that the boulder that they had these dinosaur footprints on it?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the people who brought this specimen from the Callide mine, his wife was actually the science teacher at the local school. And so he thought, hey, the kids would love this, as well as the teachers. And so it is now residing in the student foyer on a special stand with a beautiful dinosaur mural all around it. And so they've known about this for at least 2 decades. So yes.
Fantastic. So tell us about the dinosaur that made the prints, or dinosaurs, because there are lots of them, weren't there?
That's right. So for this particular block at the high school, we have at least 66 individual footprints. They were perhaps made by 47 different individuals I've been able to calculate. Some of them are in trackways or sequence of footprints, but all of them seem to be made by the same type of dinosaur. This was a 2-legged dinosaur, bipedal dinosaur that ate plants. So herbivorous dinosaur, they were not that large by dinosaur standards. These are small footprints. So the legs of these dinosaurs, some of them would have only been about 20 centimeters in length, whereas some of the other dinosaurs may have had legs up to about 80 centimeters. So there's a bit of a range, but they all seem to be made by these small-bodied herbivorous dinosaurs.
And do we know how they were made, what sort of terrain the dinosaurs would have been walking across, and over what period of time?
Absolutely. So the information that we can gather from the sediment is that this environment was almost like a floodplain. The water covered the sediment. It's almost like a clay sediment, so the footprints preserve really, really nicely. But it was just shallow, very, very shallow, so these animals didn't have to swim through the water. The environment would have been, in that particular river environment, would have been devoid of any plant material. So it would have been very easy for these animals to either cross a river or move along the length of the river. We don't quite know which of those scenarios they were mainly doing, but what we do know is that for these 66 fossilized dinosaur footprints, they seem to be going in a strong bidirectionality. Some were going that way, a whole bunch were going that way. So whether they were doing it as part of a river crossing or just doing it as part of navigating up and down the river, we don't quite know that.
Anthony, you also mentioned this boulder that's now gracing the entrance of a car park, which also has dinosaur footprints on it. What sort of animal made those?
So again, it was made by this same type of bipedal plant-eating dinosaur. It seems as though these dinosaurs were quite prolific in this area of Australia back 200 million years ago. We have the same types of footprints in a place called Carnarvon Gorge, in another place called Mount Morgan. They all seem to have this type of dinosaur in far abundance. And that's really exemplified by the school boulder, by this boulder that's also in the car park. And what I find really interesting is that here in Australia, we don't have the fossil bones of any of these dinosaurs, or really any dinosaur from that time period. And so these fossilized footprints represent the only evidence of dinosaurs in Australia at that moment.
So should people in central Queensland then be checking any big rocks they might have in their properties in case they've got fossilized footprints or even fossilized bones on them or in them?
You'd be surprised. I get that all the time. In fact, most of my research in Australia is based on people sending me an email or sending me a text saying, hey, I think I've found something. What do you think? And usually about, a quarter or a third of the time, it turns out it is a legitimate dinosaur fossil. And so, yes, if people suspect that they have or have seen a dinosaur footprint that is in rock, do let me know, do let paleontologists know, and we can investigate.
Fantastic. Anthony Romilio, lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure.